Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sheldina. Thank you for joining us. But I want to go ahead and talk about some of the books I just read. I actually just ordered a Red Bull for delivery, so we'll see if it gets here during the course of this video. But first, let's do a life update. I haven't done one of those where I sit down and talk to you about life as well as books. In my vlog where I went to DC, I think I told y'all that I was allergic to almonds, and that was honestly relatively new to me. Like my whole life I had eaten almonds. It was my favorite nut. I loved it, no problem, no issue. It wasn't until a month before that trip that I actually developed that allergy. So I obviously don't eat anything containing almonds, even though I wasn't as vigilant as I should have been, because I'm sure there are foods that were in my house that maybe contain almond flavor or something. I don't know. But anywho, last week I started taking these nail, skin, and hair vitamins. I actually got them off of Amazon. The ratings were great. I got the advanced version because I was like, I want my nails to be stronger. I want them to be harder. They're very soft. They're very brittle. They always have been. I wash my hands like probably more than the average person does in a single day. And that's just because I don't know. I guess you could say I'm a germaphobe, like very bad. And so my hands are brittle. I lotion them almost after every single wash, but they've always been brittle. So I've been trying to like make them a little bit harder and healthier. So I haven't been doing my nails and, you know, just trying to get them to be better. And so I started taking the nail, skin, and hair vitamins, and I would take them around 8:30 p.m. every single night. And then at 10 p.m. I would take my Zyrtec, which is what time I normally take my Zyrtec. I forgot to say that like my whole life I have been allergic to Benadryl. So I don't take Benadryl. We actually don't have Benadryl in this house at all. Well, that's not true. We have Benadryl for my daughter just in case she has an emergency allergy, but we don't have adult Benadryl in my house at all. And so last week I started taking it, maybe about Monday. I would say Monday I started taking it, maybe Sunday, I think. Sunday or Monday. Okay, and I started noticing my throat getting itchy, and it felt kind of like my throat was swelling, but I was like, I couldn't really tell because like I'm so dramatic sometimes, and I have really bad anxiety, and a lot of my anxiety centers around like my health. So I was like, am I making it something that it's not? And I was like, I'm probably just getting a sore throat. Maybe I'm getting sick. And so I ignored it. And then the next day, same thing. And I ignored it again. How many days did I take it? 3, I think 3, 4. And so then the third day, I started getting nauseous. I started having sharp pains in my stomach. I started feeling like more swelling. And I was like, no, I'm getting sick. I need to go to my doctor. 3 days, y'all, 3 days that I've just was like, no, because again, I'm trying to like talk myself off of a ledge here and like not be scared of everything. I don't know. So come Wednesday, I went to take this nail, skin, and hair vitamins at 8:30 p.m. Took it, and I started feeling like my throat was swelling. This time I did not ignore it because it was intense, and I was like, I don't think this is a sore throat. I mean, and the thing is, I know a difference between a sore throat, but whatever. And so I was like, I think my throat is swelling. And I'm still like calming myself down, and I'm like, it's just your anxiety. You are fine. Nothing is wrong. It is okay. And having this internal dilemma with myself, right? And then my tongue started swelling, and I was like, I can't ignore this. I think this is more than just a sore throat. My tongue is swelling. And I was like, I feel like I felt the same feelings the night before, and I just like really talked my head out of it. But then my throat and tongue started swelling a lot more. Then I started getting nauseous. I started getting sharp pains just like the night before. And so I was like trying to connect all the dots together. And so I was like, I think something's wrong. And so I told my husband, can you please look at my tongue? Instead of like just dealing with it myself internally, I asked him, I was like, can you please look at my tongue? I think it's swollen. And so he looked at it and he was like, yeah, it does look a little bit swollen, but like, I can't remember what your tongue looked like before. But if I'm remembering correctly, it does look swollen. And I was like, okay, let me go to the restroom. So I went to the restroom, looked at it, and I was like, this is huge. Like, it looks big to me, but I know my tongue, you know, like, and so I was like, this is crazy. And so then I start gagging, sorry, TMI, but I start gagging, and it's almost like my body was like trying to force out what I had just taken. And so I was like, why am I feeling like this? And I was like, there is no way my tongue would swell from being sick. And so I was like, what did I just consume? And I was like, okay, I just took this vitamin. And I was like, let me go look at the ingredients on it. So I looked at the ingredients on it, and on the back it said tree nuts, and then in parentheses it said argan, which actually makes sense for a hair supplement. I know argan is great for your hair, right? So it makes sense. And so I was like, am I allergic to all tree nuts and not just almonds? And I only noticed almonds because that's what I really eat. And so I was like, I think so, right? Because then I started connecting the dots, and I was like, every night, and granted, I only took it for like 3 nights before that, but I was like, every night I felt like my throat was like, you know, closing. And so I was like, but I just thought maybe it's just really sore. And so I ended up taking my allergy pill. I took a Zyrtec at 9 p.m. Okay, so I took it an hour early because I was like, I think I'm having an allergic reaction. I'm gonna take it. Zyrtec is not like an emergency allergy pill. However, I told y'all I'm allergic to Benadryl, and it is not in my house. So I can't take Benadryl. Even if it was in my house, I wouldn't have taken it, obviously. And so I was like, okay, let's just take the Zyrtec. And some allergists do tell you that taking Zyrtec is better than taking nothing, which I had been every night, right? I'd been taking my Zyrtec. And so I took my Zyrtec, and I was like, I'm just gonna sit with it, let it do what it needs to do. And so I'm waiting. I gave it an hour. Yo, I am crazy. And at this time, I'm like, my throat is swelling more. My tongue is swelling more. I'm not feeling better. I'm like, at this point, like my stomach, I'm like, you know, like rocking. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm just, so I was like, I told my husband, I said, I think I need to go to the ER because I think I'm having an allergic reaction to the tree nuts, and the Zyrtec is not helping, and I'm scared that my throat is gonna swell up to a point where I can no longer breathe, and I need to go. And so I have asthma. I don't know if I've said that before. I have asthma. So I was like, there's no way I'm gonna take a chance of not breathing. I mean, regardless if I had asthma or not, I should never take a chance of like possibly not breathing. But I was like, I have to go. And so he wanted to take me, but our daughter was asleep. And so I was like, I'm not gonna wake her up. She has school the next day. She's gonna be miserable in the emergency room. Even if we happen to keep her home from school, like there's no point of like waking her up to have her be there in the ER sleepy, and like, it's just not the move. So I was like, I will go by myself. So I drove myself to the ER, and then I told them, I believe I'm having an allergic reaction to tree nuts. And she was like, okay. Then they called me back up just to finish checking me in. And the lady was like, did you drive yourself here? And I was like, yes, ma'am. And at this point, my face is, swelled up, guys. I don't even know. I wasn't looking at myself. So at this point, my face is swelled up. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. And so obviously they take me back, they do blood work, they do an X-ray of my lungs, you know, they do all the things and then they start pumping me with steroids to like help with the severe allergic reaction. So yes, I am allergic to tree nuts. And I have, I think everyone who's allergic to tree nuts, to my understanding, maybe it's a severe allergy. And so obviously, I can no longer have any products containing tree nuts. I actually went through my house the other day and threw away everything that we had that had tree nuts in it. And so I was like, I really could have just kept taking this medicine and ignoring it and then eventually like passed out or something, or like, worse. And so I'm glad I like finally listened to my body and went. But at the same time, if I would have just stopped taking it the first day I felt kind of funny, I wouldn't have connected it to tree nuts and then eventually went to the ER and find out that I do have a tree nut allergy. So I'm grateful that I took it again, because now I know, because I don't ever want to be at a restaurant where I consume, tree nuts now. So I don't know. I don't know if the allergy was building or if I developed it when I developed the allergy to almonds and I just didn't know. But that's how I've been. And so I've been taking steroids still. I think I have like 2 more days of my steroids. It's making my tongue feel raw. My tongue feels like it's burning, but at least there's no swelling. My throat is not swelling. My face is not swelling. So everything is on the up and up. I feel a lot better. Yeah, that was scary for me. After that, I was really scared to eat food. I really was for a little bit. Not gonna lie to y'all. I was scared to eat food. And so that's that. What else is up in my life? Coming up Friday, my mom is having surgery on her heart. I don't think I've ever talked about this. My mom has a heart disease. She's had it her whole life, and obviously my whole life. So that's something that we've always dealt with. She's been in the hospital a couple of times for it, but she has a pacemaker in and she has to get the battery replaced. So she's gonna have surgery on Friday. My brother's gonna take her because she has to be there for 6 a.m., which I obviously said I would take her. But she was like, no, it's just too early for you, because my brother lives about like 5 minutes away from her house and I live like 20. And so she was like, he'll take me, it'll just be easier. So my husband and I will pick her up. I want to go there earlier than just picking her up. I want to be there kind of while she's in surgery and when she comes out. Like, I want to be there for all of that. So I'll be there earlier than just like picking her up at the door. So yeah, if you pray and you believe in prayers, pray for my mom. If you don't pray, but you put good vibes out there, take good vibes for her as well. And so the next time that I have a video, I'll have an update for you guys, because the next video will be Saturday. So I'll let you know how her surgery went. But yeah, so that's how life has been for me. Other than that, it's been okay. I think my Uber driver, is that him? My Uber driver is pulling up to like put my Red Bull down. I'm excited. But let's talk about the books that I have read recently. I've read quite a lot of books, so I'm not going to talk about all of them in this video since I yapped your ear off for a better half of it. But I will say that I don't know if it's because I had so many 5-star reads last month. This month has been like meh. I've been reading a lot, no 5-star reads yet. I'm still searching for one, and that's okay. You win some, you lose some. So let's talk about, I'll go in order of how I rated them. So I read The Three of Us by Or Agbaje Williams. I rated this one 3 stars. When I read the synopsis of it in the store, I only read a little bit, so that's probably why. I thought it was a thriller. It's not. It's a literary fiction, which I love, so that's fine, not an issue. It's about 3 people. So one of the friends come over to have dinner with a couple. Well, really, she came over to have dinner with the wife because that's her friend from college. You know, they used to do things together, and I guess they used to tell each other like they don't need men, they don't really want men. But the wife ended up eventually getting married to her husband. And so it opens up with the friend coming over, then the husband calling her, and she told her, hey, my friend is gonna be here for dinner. My Rebel came. Oh my God, I'm excited. Can I get it open? I usually don't open cans by myself. My husband does. Oh, Jesus. I got it. Cheers. Oh, dang. Okay. So the husband calls and he's like, is your friend there? And she said, yeah. He said, is she staying? And she was like, I don't know, probably. And so he was like, you know, she just keeps coming over. Like, you need to have a conversation with her. This is not okay. She's too involved in our relationship. And so it kind of toggles in, I think, all 3 of their minds, and they're remembering like how the friend has like crossed the line in a way. And so the husband feels like sorry, my air just kicked on. But his wife is like a different person with him and her friend. So she laughs. If the friend makes a joke about her husband being a loser, she laughs. She doesn't say anything, but then she talks to her husband and she's like, yeah, I know she is out of line and she's too much, but she doesn't express that to her friends. He like hear her to her friend. And as far as the friend goes, she's like, well, I'm saving her because she never wanted to be married. She's stuck in this marriage that she doesn't want to be in, and I just want to get her out. Y'all, when I tell you that's pretty much the whole book, I was like, I posted a picture of this on Instagram, and I said this book felt like there was no middle, beginning, and end. It just felt like a middle. Like, that was it. I was like, I need more. What is happening? Does she really want to be with her husband and her friend is being too overbearing? Does she not want to be with her husband and her friend is doing the right thing? Is her husband crazy because he just don't really know his wife? I don't know. I don't even know if the author knows. That was rude. I shouldn't have said that. I'm like, I don't know. There was not enough. I'm telling you, that was like the book. That was the book. The whole time, it was her at the house in this one occasion, and they were recalling like events, but it was like small events from the and I was like, I still don't know what I think happened. I'm like, is it just 3 people who just they all don't know each other? I don't know, y'all. So I gave it 3 stars. This is not a book I would recommend. If you read it and you liked it, that is good. Maybe you saw what I didn't, and that I love that for you, genuinely, because I wanted to like it. It's a short little book, and you know, the synopsis again made me think that it was going to be more thrilling, and so I don't know. It's just I didn't get it, and so I was like, okay, yeah, okay, cool. Then I read The Between by Tananarive Due, and I read The Reformatory by her. That was my first book by her. I absolutely love it. I gave it 5 stars, and so I picked this one up on Book Outlet immediately. This one, I typically go into most book blind. I've been trying to read a little bit of the synopsis lately, just because I'm like, at least know what genre the book is in, so that way you know what you're getting into. Obviously, she writes horror. I knew this. So I did not read the synopsis of this one at all. I just saw The Between, and I was like excited about it. It took me a long time to get into this book. I don't know what it was about it. It wasn't the writing. It was just the story. I don't know, for whatever reason, I just could not get into it. It was hard for me. And then eventually I was like, okay, I know what's happening now, but I'm still kind of like not pulled in, you know? And so I will describe it to you as this: like, he's neither dead nor alive, or is he? He is either dreaming or traveling, whatever he is doing, he is in the between, okay? That's really how I can describe it to you. Someone actually said that, because I posted a picture on Instagram, and someone said, this feels like a fever dream, and I couldn't have described it better. I was like, girl, that is the best way to describe it, because it really did feel like a fever dream. It felt like I took acid. I don't know what it's like to take acid, guys. I just be saying things, but I gave this 3.5 because I was like, she can write, and I think the concept is interesting. It just took me way too long to get into it, and even when I got into it, I was not impressed by it. I didn't love it. And so I don't know. It was a disappointment for me because of how much I really liked The Reformatory. Nothing against the book. It's just, I guess I expected the same vibes, and I shouldn't have, because they're different books. The next one I read is The Chaperone by M. Hendricks, and this is the last one I'll talk about in this video. I rated this one 4 stars. So this one is a YA dystopian novel, and that's probably the highest I'll rate a dystopian novel, to be honest. I don't think I really care for them too much. And you're probably like, well, why would you get a book that's dystopian if you don't care about them, Sheldina? I thought this was a horror. I got this book when I first got on Book Talk, even before I started making Book Talk videos, just watching creators. One creator that I watched that mostly reads thrillers and horror, she talked about this book, and she was like, this book is creepy and trippy, and so I got it. So I thought it was a horror. I read a line in the book for a video because this is one of the 25 books I wanted to read in 2025. So I think I told y'all just a snippet of what it was about. But even that snippet didn't tell you anything. So it follows a girl named Stella who is in New America, as they call it. So in New America, I'm gonna put this book down. It's The Chaperone. It is heavy. In the New America, once a girl gets her, her menstrual cycle for the first time, they consider her to be a woman now, or womanly, or so she can no longer go out by herself. She has to have a chaperone. The chaperone is a woman as well. So every woman who reaches their first period then gets a chaperone. Stella's chaperone dies in the beginning of the book. I'm not spoiling anything. And she gets a new chaperone, and she was kind of skeptical about her. And I was like, ooh, we're getting somewhere. It just follows her and showing what it's like for girls to live in this new America. In school, they're only learning how to be a wife or how to be quiet, and girls should be seen and not heard. They don't have co-ed classes. I think they only have one co-ed class, but even in that co-ed class, girls aren't encouraged to speak. Only boys can. It's a school where the boys and girls are together. However, they have different lunch tables. They're not supposed to interact. They're not supposed to touch each other. Very much, women should just be over here. Men should just be over here. And that's it. The only time they could talk is ever so often, I think every Sunday or so, somebody comes to her house to try to court her, and that's when they could speak to each other. And they're really just looking for a husband for her. So as soon as she graduates, they expect her to get married off to a man. And in there, they were talking about college, but she was even even if I go to college, they're still going to teach me the same things they're teaching me in high school. Just how to be a better wife. This is not it. Okay. It was kind of sad to watch the girls just, be silenced so much. But Stella was she did not like it. She didn't agree with it. She just wasn't feeling it. She was like, there has to be a better life than this. And that's all I'm gonna say. But I like the concept. I like how it played out. I thought it was written well. I just don't think dystopian is my thing. But even for that, I think 4 is a very high rating for a genre that I don't typically dabble in too much. But overall, I thought the book was good. I really did, and I like the concept, and I like Stella. And I like the idea of some of the chaperones in there. I can't give anything away, but I liked it. I thought it was cool. Those were some of the books I've read recently. And again, I haven't been having the best luck with books. I've just been kind of like meh, but it's probably because I think I rated like 7 or 8 books last month 5 stars, and that's crazy. Hopefully I choose books that are going to be more exciting, more thrilling. My whole goal was to only read thrillers and horror in October, and for some reason I have veered so far away from that. I don't even know how it happened. I genuinely don't know. I've read more books that are not than I have that are. And so we'll see. I'm gonna keep reading my books, and hopefully I get one that I'm, just enamored with. But that is all. Hopefully when I edit this video, it's not too long. I apologize. But thanks again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, happy reading. Bye.